I did come off a bit aggressive. I did come off a bit aggressive. So, here I am again, ladies and gentlemen. In my last video when I spoke about Pokemon Sword and Shield, I came off very aggressive. And I do apologize for that. When I said I was going to come at people in the most nicest and calmest possible, as the video went on, I got aggressive and I started getting a bit angry, and I was saying things that people thought I was saying things wrong. I was coming out very mean. I wasn't saying things in a way that it made people happy. So I'm going to try this again. I'm going to try this again, and I'm going to come at people as nice as I possibly can. And we'll see how it turns out this time. And if your opinions still stand on what if your opinions still stand, then that's just fine. I'm not here to change anyone's opinion. I'm not here to change anyone's opinion about Pokemon Sword and Shield. I'm not here to tell everyone that you're wrong about the National Dex, or you shouldn't be complaining. You have the right to complain, okay? That's the first thing that I think was one of the big key problems. I wasn't saying you had the right to complain. And I'm going to say that. You have the right to complain. You have the right to voice your opinion. You have your rights to do that. But people like me, there are other people that have different opinions, and people like me, I'm not saying, now look, people like me, I want to remain positive. I don't want to get emotional, get angry. I save all that stuff for my wrestling content. With Pokemon, it's more of a positive thing. If you're a positive channel, and you say positivity is your main catchphrase, and then you go off because of this, and you get a little upset over the National Dex thing, and it kind of goes against your positivity. This is not a shot at anyone. I'm just saying that if you're a positive channel, you would think you should remain positive throughout the whole thing. But I'm going to say this. Am I bothered about the National Dex? Now listen. I understand that people are upset. I understand. I understand why people are upset. Because their favorite Pokemon could potentially not get in. Now some of you may say, Patrick, what's your favorite Pokemon? Well, a couple of my favorite Pokemon have been confirmed to the game, like Lucario, like Electrike and Manectric, just to name two. We don't know how many Pokemon are being cut out. We don't know. So, let's say Totodile. He's one of my favorites. Some of you may ask, well, how would you feel if Totodile was not in Pokemon Sword and Shield? I wouldn't really care, to be honest. I wouldn't care. It's not because I don't care and I don't like Totodile anymore. It's because I really wouldn't care if it's not. Or how about this, Patrick? What about Trico? I'm pretty sure he's one of your favorite starters. What if he's not in the game? Again, I wouldn't care. Do you want to know why I am... Look, I'm not saying I am praising Game Freak for getting rid of the National Dex. I'm not. I'm disappointed as much as everybody else is that there's no National Dex. But I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad where I'm going to scream and yell that there's no National Dex. So, I thought I'd give you guys a bit of history on what I was like when it came to playing Pokemon. And why the National Dex is never a big deal to me. The reason why it was never a big deal to me is because, well, here's the thing. I never ever completed a National Dex. Never. I never have. Because I never focused my intentions on completing a National Dex. Now, completing a National Dex would take ages. Especially back in the day when the Game Boy was the original console. Was the first console brought out. Where you have games like Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire Red, and Leaf Green. You would have to do a lot of trading to fill out your decks. Now there might be some people out there that have done that in their lives. Some of you may say, well, that's how we want to gain a National Dex. But look at Fire Red and Leaf Green. Did Fire Red and Leaf Green have every single Pokemon coded? That's another thing. Did the Fire Red and Leaf Green games have all the Johto Pokemon coded? As far as I know, when I played through Leaf Green and Fire Red, I'd have to say no. They didn't have all of them coded. You couldn't get the starters. The only way you would is through Pokemon Emerald. Because Pokemon Emerald, you'd have to beat the game. Or not just beat the game, you'd have to get all 200 Pokemon, or 202 if you add Jirachi and Deoxys to the discussion. But yeah, that's the only way you would get the Johto starters. You'd have to restart the game and complete the decks. That would take so much time. That's one of the reasons why I never bothered with the National Dex. That's why I personally, one of many reasons why I never really cared for the National Dex. Number 2. Time, it's just a waste of time. Now, I know I may have just upsetted many people because I just said the words, it's a waste of time. Now, please, don't start spamming that dislike button all because I said it's a waste of time. To me, it is. To me, it is. If it's not a waste of time to you, that's fine. If it's not a waste of time to you, that's fine. To me, it was a waste of time because all you're doing is sending Pokemon from your older games to the newer games. Yes, that is the right thing to do, as what some people would say. It's the right thing to do. Which again, I have done this. I've done this. I've sent some of my older Pokemon to the newer games. I'm a victim of that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I never said it was a bad thing that you can't transfer your older Pokemon to the newer games. Because, yeah, you may want to know what a certain Pokemon looks like in the Diamond and Pearl graphics. You might want to know what they look like in Diamond and Pearl in Generation 4. But that's never what it was really all about to me. It was never really about what does this Pokemon look like, or how does this Pokemon look, or how does the graphics feel with these Pokemon in the games. That's never really meant anything to me. Do you want to know the... Okay. I think I'll give you guys the legit, honest reason why I never really cared about the National Dex. Mythical Pokemon. There you go, mythical Pokemon. Do you know how you gain mythical Pokemon nowadays? You get these little cards, right? You get these little cards. I got 3 of them. Mew, Darkrai, and Arceus. That is how you gain mythicals. They hand them out to you. Now, okay. Here is a story that I'm going to share. I'm going to tell you guys a story. 2007, February 2nd, I believe this was. I had my original copy of Pokemon Pearl. I was just casually playing through the game. And I was watching a video of a person on how to get the mythical Pokemon Arceus. And he did it in a certain way. I followed along. I was thinking, okay, maybe if I do what this person's telling me, I may be able to get somewhere. So then all of a sudden, he would show how you do it. And then all of a sudden, I would just walk into, just on a random day, I just did a couple of things. And then on a random day, which happened to be February 2nd, 2007, I walked into a Poké Market. A dude with a green outfit was there. I spoke to him. I never saw this guy before, so I was like, who's this guy? And then he gave me an Azure Flute, which is the item you need for Arceus. I freaked out because I was like, whoa, what the hell is this thing? And I realized it was that item that person in that video said. There was no mystery gift event. I don't think it was. I don't think it was a special event on that day. If there happened to be an Arceus event on that day, then I must have been the most luckiest guy in the world. I clearly had no clue about it. So yeah, then I went to battle Arceus. With no cheat codes, nothing. And no mystery gift event card. I was not given a mystery gift event card to activate it or anything. It was just there. I just randomly got it. So yeah, some people may question me, how did I get it? Well, that's the question. I still don't know to this day how I ever got it. The only explanation would be, it must have been a day that the event was out. That would possibly be the only explanation. So yeah, that's how I got an Arceus in my original Pokemon Pearl. No cheat codes or anything, I just magically happened to get it. Did I look after it? Did I treat it well? Yes. Is it still with you to these days, Patrick? Is it a Pokemon you cherished and looked after? I don't know if it is still in any of my previous games. But even if it was, it wouldn't matter. Because I don't own all the Pokemon games anymore. Now, honestly, this is something I should really keep to myself. But honestly, I'll let my brother-in-law borrow them. And yeah, he ended up losing most of my games, so wherever that Arceus was, if it was in one of those games that I ended up losing, then yeah, I know, it would really suck. I know, it does suck to lose something that you really worked hard to get. And yes, I get bummed out about things like that. Those are the types of things I get bummed out about. Losing things that I worked so hard to get. Well, Patrick, that's the reason why we're upset that there's no National Dex in Sword and Shield. Because we've been working so hard to get all these Pokemon, and we want to get them onto these games. That's why we're so upset that Masuda has said only a limited amount of Pokemon. We're upset because we worked so hard. I get that. I get that 100%. I understand you. I understand you. Like I said, I came off aggressive in my last video. I wasn't saying things correctly. I was coming off a bit bitter, a bit nasty, trying to fight back against the people that were angry about this. That's why I'm redoing this video again. That's why I'm redoing this again. To be a more calm, talk to you. I don't want to fight with anyone. I just want to talk to you. I just want to know why are you so upset that there's no National Dex. So yeah, that's the main reason why I never really cared for the National Dex. Even if, okay, let's say I did transfer all my Pokemon into one game. There would be Pokemon I'd be missing. Mythicals, like Deoxys. Well, I guess we can't really count him because Oras is a thing. Jirachi. Celebi. Well, I guess you can now get a Celebi if you purchase... I believe you can get a Celebi if you purchase Gold, Silver, or Crystal through EB Shop. So, wow, lucky us. 2 mythicals we're allowed to get. Jirachi. Genesect. Keldeo. Can't say Mew, because we still can get Mew. And there's also a Mew glitch in Pokemon Yellow. Zeraora, that new one. And there's a couple of other ones. And there's a couple of other ones I can't remember off my head. But I only had 4 mythicals ever in my life. I've only had 4 mythicals ever in my life. That was an Arceus that I got in a card, a Darkrai I got in a card, and a Mew I got in a card, and I guess I forgot to mention this one, Marshadow. Those were the 4 mythical Pokemon I ever got. That right there is the main reason why I never really bothered with the National Dex. Because the mythical Pokemon are so hard to get. The mythical Pokemon, we don't earn them! Okay, okay, Patrick, you yelled a little bit. Calm down. You can't earn them! You can't earn these mythical Pokemon. You can't catch a Mew. You can't catch a Deoxys. Well, I know we can get Mew, because I know we can get Mew through the Pokemon Yellow glitch. The Pokemon Yellow glitch. And the Pokey, and that Pokeball thing that you can now get. That will give you a free Mew. Yes, you can get Mew 2 different ways now. Or 3 ways, plus the Emerald, plus that Emerald event. That's 3 ways that you can get a Mew. You can't get a Jirachi. You can't get, like, Genesect, Meloetta, Keldeo, and all those other mythicals. Zeraora. I know there are a lot of other mythicals I'm missing. You guys can let me know all the mythicals that I did end up missing. But you can't get them all. The only way you can is that if you know the exact day all these events happen, and then you are quick to purchase them. Would you feel a little bummed that you're just given the Pokemon in your hand? When I got the Mew, sure I was happy because I finally got a Mew. But I felt a little unaccomplished about it. I did feel a little unaccomplished. I did feel a bit bummed that I was given a Darkrai and given an Arceus. And even given a Marshadow. I wish the mythical Pokemon were catchable. I think Pokemon Black and White did this. I'm not 100% sure. Because throughout my time playing Black and White, I was never rewarded. I was never rewarded with a Genesect. I was never rewarded with a Keldeo. Or anything like that. And here's another thing. But I don't want to forget this, because this is the main thing here. Do you want to know what is the second most best reason why I've never cared about a National Dex? It's because in my days of playing Pokemon, I've never looked at the Pokedex. I've never looked at the National Dex as the #1 key thing that I have to do. I never looked at it that way. Yes, I know it's a part of Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all. Yes, I know it's part of the trend. But again, mythical Pokemon are the things that stop me. That's why I ignore the National Dex, because the mythical Pokemon stop me from ever achieving that chance of ever getting them all. And if people have managed to get all the mythicals, then that's great for you. That's great for you. You're very patient to get them all. Even if they are given out to you. But you wouldn't really care because you added them to your deck, so you'd still be happy about it. But here's the other reason. People say it's for competitive reasons. People play competitive Pokemon, Patrick. That's another reason why the people are upset about the National Dex. Okay, well that's a good valid point. It's a good valid point. But I want to tell you guys this. I'm not a competitive battler. I never have. I never have been a competitive battler. There was only one time. Only one time I did competitive battling. And that was when X and Y first came out. because the fairy type was introduced. I had a team, like in Kalos, there was only one Pokemon that I had was different, and that was Blastoise. That was in my team. Because in that game, you could get 2 starters. And I was like, sweet, 2 starters? That's awesome. So yeah, I kept the Squirtle on my team for nostalgia's sake. Because I was like, sweet, I can get another starter Pokemon. So I thought that was cool. But the rest of my team, the rest of my 5 Pokemon were nothing but Kalos Pokemon. Actually, I think Lucario was the second Pokemon I had in. I think it's because I never used it. Yeah, 4 Pokemon. Well, I guess Lucario can slide. I guess you guys will probably be like, well, it was your first time using Lucario, so I guess we can let that slide. So, and if that is the case to you guys, then I greatly appreciate that. But in Gen 5, that was, but in X and Y, I think that was the first time I used the Lucario. When did Black and White 2 come out? When did Black and White 2 come out? Because I remember using one in Black and White 2. Either way, it's not about how many times I used the Lucario. Basically, I had a Lucario as well. Because it was given to you. So I had 2 Pokemon from a different region. 4 Pokemon were all Kalos Pokemon. My starter, Chestnut, Tyrantrum, Aegislash, and not Arceus, Xerneas. I almost called the fairy type the god of Pokemon. But Xerneas, he was a brand new fairy type Pokemon, and I was like, okay, fairy type. It's understandable that the fairy type was going to be the legendary, so I was like, okay, so maybe I'll give this fella a chance, and I'll see what the fairy types are all about. And boy, oh boy, I freaking loved it. Xerneas. I thought it was a hard hitter, very powerful. And the thing is, at the time, fairies were new. At that time, when I started to do a little bit of competitive battling online, fairies were new. Not many people knew the weaknesses of fairy. I don't think people knew at the time that poison was weak to, that poison was super effective on fairies. Steel was super effective on fairies. I know there's others, but those are the main 2 I know. Nobody knew at the time that those 2 typings were weak to fairy, or were strong against fairy. So I was able to bloody obliterate people with Xerneas because they wouldn't know its weakness. And my Pokemon were actually really strong as well. Because you want to know why that is? It's because when I complete the post game, what do I do in my post game? Because some people may be wondering, well, what do you do in the post games? In X and Y, there wasn't a lot to do there wasn't a lot to do in those games. Yes, that is true. There wasn't a lot to do. Got to catch a Mewtwo and a Zygarde. And I guess you can go for one of the legendary birds, but I never even bothered, to be honest. Never even bothered, because I just sent them over to my other game, so I never really bothered. But what did I do mostly throughout my post game? Just grind through the league constantly. That's all I did. That's all I did back then. Just grind and grind and grind through the league. Just grind my Pokemon's levels to level 100. That's all I ever did back then. Because like I said, the National Dex never meant anything to me. Because I couldn't get all the mythicals. What's the point of me worrying about the National Dex? That's all I ever did in the post games. That's all I ever did in all post games. Just go through the leagues constantly. Grind up my Pokemon's levels to level 100. Do I do that now and nowadays? No, I don't do it now and nowadays. Because, well, it can be boring. I will admit it can be boring, but I did do it in my Omega Ruby. Grinding through the leagues just to level up my Pokemon. And there's no shame in doing that. Sure, to you guys that may be boring. So some of you people, they'll be like, well, that's kind of boring. Yeah, it may be boring to you. Because you're probably used to just filling out your living decks. And again, That's perfectly fine. If you thought the living dex was more important to you, that's perfectly fine. Again, I agree. I understand the people that were angry that there's no national dex. But I'm here to tell you guys why I don't care about the national dex. So this is my story. You guys can share me your stories down below on why you guys think it's important to you. I'm telling you why it's not important to me. So that's all I ever did. Just spend my hours of my day just grinding. Maybe I might battle with a couple of my friends. If I'm ever bored, I may go to school or university, and I'd ask a couple of my friends, "Hey, do you guys want to battle?" I'd pick out a team. You pick out a team, and let's battle. And we'd battle. I have a lot of other things that I could do with these games, other than just worrying about a national dex. So what do you do now, Patrick? If you did all that back then now, why don't you do that now? Well, here's the reason why I don't do that now. Well, let's say Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon's league wasn't really all that impressive. I didn't really like it that much. I didn't think it was really worth going through it all. And more importantly, at this point, you could just transfer all of your Pokemon to the Sun and Moon games. So it kind of really didn't matter. It really kind of didn't matter. Even if I wanted to grind like all my Pokemon that I had in my team at the time to level 100. I guess when Sun and Moon came out, I guess I just wasn't bothered. Because I did it in X and Y. I did it in an Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. But I guess when Sun and Moon came out, I just never cared to just do what I did back then. So, yeah. That's why the National Dex has never been important to me. Mythical Pokemon. Mythical Pokemon is the main reason why. Because even if I do get all the Pokemon, I'd still be missing all the Mythicals. That's the main reason why I've never cared about the National Dex, guys. And I told you guys my story. And yeah, I've come at this. I've came at this in a more respectable and a calm manner. And I hope you guys appreciate the fact that I'm redoing this video again in a different manner to where you people can understand where I'm coming from in this scenario. So this was my personal opinion why I've never cared about the National Dex. So I hope you guys have understood, and I do apologize for my behavior in my last video. That's why I've decided to do this again. Just so that you people can hear me out this time. So what about Sword and Shield, Patrick? What are you going to do about it then? Are you going to go back to your original roots that you used to do? Just grind your Pokemon out to level 100? Maybe. Maybe. If there's any importance post-game, then maybe I might do other things. But if there really isn't much of an important post-game, then yeah, maybe I will just grind my Pokemon out in the Pokemon League. But again, we don't know what Pokemon are going to be missing out. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do apologize for my aggressiveness in my last video. Hope you guys understood where I come from in this video. Hit that like button if you guys did enjoy. Comment your stories down below. If the National Dex matters to you, tell me why down below. And if it doesn't matter to you, you can tell me as well down below. If you've got any stories you would like to tell me in the comment sections down below on why the National Dex may matter to you, then go ahead. I'm free to listening to other people's opinions. As long as you're respectful to my opinions, I'll be respectful to yours, because that's how I work. I'm a nice person, and I'll freely hear you out. And I'm going to reiterate this one more time. I understand why you people are mad that there's no national Dex. I agree with you. I'm on board with what you have to say, but I have to give you guys. But I've given you guys my story on why the national Dex never mattered to me, and I hope you guys understand. Thank you all for watching.